What if I told you that 1 year from now you could become completely unrecognizable? Not because of luck, not because someone saved you, not because life suddenly became easy, but because you finally decided to stop betraying your own potential. Right now, somewhere deep inside you, there's a version of yourself begging to be unleashed, a stronger version, a disciplined version, a dangerous version. The version that wakes up early without excuses, the version that finishes what they start, the version that stops talking and starts building. And the scary part? That version of you is not far away. It's hidden inside the choices you keep avoiding. Every time you hit snooze, you delay becoming them. Every time you procrastinate, you feed weakness. Every time you settle for comfort, you trade greatness for temporary relief. But today can be different. Because the next 12 months, they will either expose your excuses or reveal your transformation. The clock is moving either way. The question is simple. Will you evolve or repeat? Most people underestimate how much their life can change in a year. Why? Because they overestimate motivation and underestimate consistency. They think transformation happens through giant breakthroughs, dramatic moments, overnight success. But it doesn't. Real transformation is quieter than that. It's built in the dark. It's built through decisions so small they almost seem meaningless. Waking up when you said you would. Going to the gym when nobody forced you. Studying after a long day. Saving money instead of wasting it. Choosing discipline over distraction. That's how lives change. Not in one moment, but in thousands of moments stacked together. And here's what most people never realize. Your future is not created by intensity. It's created by repetition. Anyone can feel motivated for one day. Anyone can post goals online. Anyone can talk about becoming great. But can you repeat the right habits long enough for them to change your identity? That's the real challenge. Because success is not built by what you do occasionally. It's built by what you do consistently. Look around. Most people are trapped in cycles they created themselves. Wake up tired, scroll endlessly, complain constantly, avoid responsibility, repeat. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But life responds to patterns, not wishes, not intentions, patterns. If your habits stay the same, your future stays the same. That's the brutal truth. You cannot build a powerful future with weak routines. You cannot create greatness while entertaining mediocrity every day. At some point, you have to decide that enough is enough. Enough excuses, enough waiting, enough pretending you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is the favorite hiding place of failure, because tomorrow feels productive without requiring action. I'll start Monday. I'll begin next month. I'm waiting for the right time. No. The right time is a myth created by fear. Because fear never says, don't. Fear says, later. Later when you feel ready. Later when conditions improve. Later when it's more convenient. But successful people understand something different. Readiness is not what creates action. Action creates readiness. Confidence doesn't appear before you begin. It appears because you begin. You gain confidence by keeping promises to yourself. You gain strength by carrying heavy things. You gain discipline by doing hard things repeatedly. No one becomes unstoppable accidentally. They train for it. And training is uncomfortable. That's the part social media doesn't show you. Everyone wants the result. Very few want the process. People want the body, but not the workouts. The money, but not the sacrifice. The respect, but not the discipline. The freedom, but not the responsibility. but the process is the price. And if you refuse to pay the price, you will keep renting your dreams instead of owning them. Listen carefully. Your habits are voting for your future every single day. Every workout is a vote. Every distraction is a vote. Every focused hour is a vote. Every excuse is a vote. The person you become is simply the accumulation of those votes over time. That means your future is not mysterious. It's visible. Look at your routines. Look at your standards. Look at how you spend your time. That's your future speaking. And if that future scares you, good. Because awareness is the beginning of change. Most people never even face themselves honestly. They stay busy to avoid self-reflection. But growth begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. The moment you admit, I've been wasting my potential. That truth hurts, but it also sets you free. Because once you stop making excuses, you reclaim your power. And power changes everything. Power is waking up and controlling your mind instead of letting your emotions control you. Power is staying disciplined when nobody is watching. Power is continuing when motivation disappears. Because motivation is temporary, discipline is identity. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you alive in the fight. There will be days when you feel unstoppable. And there will be days when you feel broken. Days where doubt whispers louder than belief. Days where your progress feels invisible. Days where quitting seems easier than continuing. That's when your character is revealed. Not during easy seasons, during painful ones. Anyone can chase goals when life feels good. But can you continue when life punches you in the mouth? Can you stay committed when results are delayed? Can you trust the process before the rewards arrive? That's what separates winners from everyone else. Not talent, endurance. Because the people who change their lives are usually not the smartest. They're the most persistent. They survive long enough for consistency to compound. And make no mistake, consistency is powerful. Small actions repeated daily become unstoppable forces. One workout won't change your body, but 300 will. One focused work session won't build success, but years of focus will. One good decision won't transform your life, but repeated daily decisions absolutely will. That's how transformation works. Quietly, slowly, relentlessly, until suddenly people call you lucky. But they didn't see the mornings you wanted to quit, the loneliness, the repetition, the sacrifice. Success always looks simple from the outside, but inside the process, it's war. War against distraction. War against comfort. War against your lower self. Every day you wake up, two versions of you are fighting. One wants comfort. The other wants growth. One wants excuses. The other wants greatness. One says rest. The other says rise. And whichever version you feed, wins. That's why environment matters. If you surround yourself with people addicted to excuses, average becomes normal. People who mock ambition. People who fear discipline. People who settle for less. Energy spreads, standards spread, mindsets spread. And if everyone around you is comfortable being mediocre, eventually you'll start believing mediocrity is acceptable. Protect your mind, protect your energy, protect your vision. Not everyone deserves access to your future. Some people only understand the old version of you, the smaller version, the weaker version, the version that stayed comfortable. But growth changes you, and growth makes people uncomfortable. The moment you become more disciplined, some people will call you obsessed. The moment you become more focused, some people will call you distant. The moment you stop tolerating nonsense, some people will say you've changed. Good. You are supposed to change. Growth requires separation. You cannot become extraordinary while desperately trying to fit in with ordinary thinking. At some point, you must choose comfort or purpose, validation or growth, entertainment or execution. Because everything costs something, and the life you want demands payment up front. That payment is discipline. Discipline when you're tired. Discipline when nobody believes in you. Discipline when progress feels slow, especially then. Because the truth is, the first phase of transformation is ugly. You won't look successful at first. You'll look inconsistent, uncertain, messy. You'll fail. You'll doubt yourself. You'll restart more than once. But failure is not proof that you're incapable. It's proof that you're trying. Every master was once terrible. Every confident person was once insecure. Every disciplined person once struggled with consistency. Nobody skips the process. And if you keep expecting perfection before progress, you'll stay trapped forever. Progress is messy. But messy progress still beats perfect procrastination. Stop waiting to feel fearless. Fear never disappears completely. Courage is acting while fear exists. That's what leaders do. They move before certainty arrives. They trust themselves enough to figure things out along the way. And trust is built through action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, self-respect grows. That's why discipline creates confidence, because confidence is not built through affirmations. It's built through evidence. Evidence that you can rely on yourself. Evidence that you finish what you start. Evidence that you continue when things become difficult. That kind of confidence is unshakable because it isn't based on opinions, it's based on proof. And once you develop that kind of self-respect, your standards change. You stop accepting weak excuses, weak environments, weak habits. You stop negotiating with your goals because you realize something powerful. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your standards. Low standards create painful lives. High standards create powerful lives. If your standard is, I'll do it when I feel motivated, your results will always be inconsistent. If your standard is, I execute regardless of mood, your life changes completely. Winners operate from standards. Losers operate from feelings. And feelings are unreliable. Some mornings you'll wake up inspired. Other mornings you'll wake up exhausted. But your mission remains the same. Execute anyway. Because discipline is remembering what you want most, instead of choosing what feels good now. And what feels good now often destroys what you want later. Distractions are expensive. Comfort is expensive. Wasted time is expensive. The cost just isn't visible immediately. That's why people stay stuck. The consequences arrive slowly. A wasted day becomes a wasted month. A wasted month becomes a wasted year. A wasted year becomes regret. And regret is heavy, especially when you realize you had potential all along. Don't let that become your story. You still have time. But time only matters if you use it. The next 12 months can absolutely transform your life. Your body can change, your mindset can change, your finances can change, your discipline can change, your confidence can change, but only if your actions change first. Results don't come from wishing harder, they come from working harder. And not just once, repeatedly. The people you admire didn't become powerful overnight. They built themselves piece by piece, through lonely mornings, painful lessons, embarrassing failures, relentless repetition. That's what greatness actually looks like. Not glamorous, consistent. And consistency is available to everyone. You don't need perfect genetics. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need permission. You need commitment. Real commitment. The kind that continues after excitement fades. Because excitement fades quickly. Purpose lasts longer. When your purpose becomes stronger than your excuses, your life begins changing rapidly. Suddenly, discipline feels different. It's no longer punishment, it becomes alignment. You stop forcing yourself to work. You start respecting your future enough to prepare for it. That shift changes everything. Because now you're no longer reacting to life, you're designing it. One decision at a time. One habit at a time. One disciplined day at a time. And understand this clearly. No one is coming to rescue you. Not your friends, not society, not luck. Your future is your responsibility. That's not depressing, that's empowering. Because if your choices created your current life, your choices can also create a better one. You are not stuck. You are conditioned. And conditioning can be changed. But change requires repetition. You cannot think your way into transformation. You must behave your way into it. Action rewires identity. That means every disciplined action matters. Every workout matters. Every focused hour matters. Every difficult conversation matters. Every promise kept matters. Because those moments shape who you become. And identity is everything. Once you identify as disciplined, your actions shift naturally. Once you identify as strong, quitting becomes harder. Once you identify as focused, distractions lose power. That's why habits matter more than hype. Habits build identity. Identity builds destiny. So stop chasing motivation videos hoping they'll magically change your life. Inspiration without execution is entertainment. You already know enough. You know what you need to do. Wake up earlier, work harder, focus longer, stop distracting yourself, take care of your body, protect your mind. The problem is rarely knowledge. The problem is execution, and execution requires ownership. Complete ownership. No blaming your past, no blaming circumstances, no blaming other people. Because blame keeps you powerless. Ownership gives you control. The moment you say, "My life is my responsibility," everything changes. Now your future is no longer random. It becomes intentional. That's when momentum begins. And momentum is dangerous in the best possible way. Because once disciplined actions become normal, growth accelerates. You start thinking differently, walking differently, speaking differently. Your energy changes. People notice. Not because you're pretending to be powerful, but because you've become aligned. Aligned people move differently. They stop wasting energy proving themselves. They focus on building themselves, silently, relentlessly. And eventually, results speak for them. That's another truth people forget. You do not need to announce your transformation. Build quietly. Let your actions make the noise, because real power is calm. Real power doesn't beg for validation. It doesn't need applause. It knows who it is. That's the energy you must build. Not arrogance, certainty. Certainty that you can handle difficult things. Certainty that discipline will carry you further than motivation ever could. Certainty that consistency will eventually outperform talent. Because it will, every single time. Talent without discipline eventually collapses. Discipline without talent eventually evolves into mastery. That's why ordinary people can create extraordinary lives. Not through magic, through repetition, through resilience, through refusing to quit. And yes, there will be moments where you feel alone. Transformation is lonely sometimes, because your standards rise, your priorities change. You stop relating to conversations built around gossip, excuses, and complaining. You become more intentional, more focused, more selective. That isolation can feel uncomfortable. But sometimes isolation is preparation. Sometimes distance is necessary for growth. Seeds grow underground first. Remember that. Your greatest breakthroughs may happen in seasons nobody understands. Keep building anyway. You are not behind. You are in process. But process only works if you stay committed long enough. Most people quit too early. That's why average is crowded. People stop when progress becomes invisible. But invisible progress is still progress. Roots grow before trees appear. Trust the repetition. Trust the discipline. Trust the process you're building. Because one day, the things that feel difficult now will become automatic. The workouts, the focus, the discipline, the confidence. You'll become someone your past self would barely recognize. Not because you changed overnight, but because you changed daily. That's how powerful lives are built. Daily. So if you truly want the next year to change your life, stop obsessing over huge breakthroughs. Focus on winning today. Win the morning. Win your habits. Win your focus. Win your standards. Then repeat. Again, again, again. That repetition will take you further than motivation ever could. And one day, people will ask how you transformed so much. They'll think it happened suddenly. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it happened in the moments nobody saw. The mornings you stayed disciplined, the nights you kept working, the times you kept going despite doubt. That's where your future is built. Not in fantasies, in daily execution. So stop waiting for another sign. This is the sign. The next 12 months are going to pass no matter what. The only question is who you'll become by the end of them. Will you repeat the same patterns? Or will you finally become the person you keep imagining? Because deep down, you already know what you're capable of. Now it's time to prove it.